need them. We need them. Some days we need them more than other days, but we need them every day. I'm talking about strategies. Yeah, we need strategies for living. Are you ready? You ready for your daily dose of radio rehab?
I am ready.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty ready.
I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
Folks, thank you for being ready and here with us on 101.7 FM 710 Keel. Welcome into Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillan, and she is psychotherapist, PLPC Lauren Leon McMillan. And, we talk a lot here on Strategies about taking care of yourself, self-care.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you ever think that some people scratch their heads and say, how do I do that? I mean, here's the question.
Yeah.
Do you think that self-care is easier for some people than it is for other people? That's the question I would pose to you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely think that there is a difference and it comes from how you view it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I was talking to a client earlier today about how we define things, right? And I think that makes a huge difference in how we perceive and experience them. And so if you're defining self-care as this, I have to do it, it's a chore.
It's a have to, not a want to.
Right. That can become something different. And it could also become something different if you see it as selfish or egoic, which I think a lot of us can fall into that trap just based on kind of the societal thinking that goes on around us.
Yeah, I look around for interesting blogs and ideas, and I ran into one called Be More with Less. Courtney Carver is the author of this blog, and what caught my attention, Lauren, was she gathered some self-care quotes to encourage health and healing. And I think she's had quite a journey herself. And now I think she's doing exactly what her blog says. Be more with less. That's what she is attempting to do. Anyway, some of her quotes and some of the things that she shared really got my attention. And I said, you know what? We need to share this because I think
it's a good time. There's never not a good time, but I think today's a good time to start talking about self-care.
Yeah, and I do think it's easier for some people than it is for other people.
Definitely.
And for some people, it's just a matter of, okay, well, where do I begin? Where do I start? And so hopefully today we'll give some starting places.
Yeah.
We'll give some ideas. Because that's what we do here on Strategies for Living.
You don't say.
Yeah, we're all about health and wellness and healthy living and making healthy choices. And we appreciate you being with us, and we appreciate our sponsors making it all possible. The Robinson Film Center and Azalea Cleaners and Learning RX and Pintail Roofing and the Balanced Life Wellness Center. Back in a moment. How do we do this self-care thing? Talking about it today here on Strategies. Hey, let's talk about the Robinson Film Center. I say it a lot. There's no place like the Robinson.
Absolutely, there is not.
617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. You've got so much. You got the movies. You got Abby Singer's Bistro on the second floor of RFC, open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Saturday.
Newly remodeled.
Absolutely. Great menu. RobinsonFilmCenter.org is the way you check it all out. You can go to RobinsonFilmCenter.org at any time and find out what movies are showing. Here's the deal. You want to join the crowd, join the fun, become a member. When you become a member, you become a star. You get discounts on movies, you get concession upgrades, you get bistro deals. RFC, 617 Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. I'll say it again. There's no place like the Robinson.
There is not, and I'm glad we have one right here.
Absolutely. The RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Reading begins not in the classroom, but in your child's brain. I'm Dawnisa Walker with Learning RX Shreveport. If your child struggles to read, Maybe he or she has trouble focusing or comprehending. Learning RX Report offers a science solution to reading problems, working one-on-one with your child, targeting his or her reading skills. Today, call Learning RX Report. Make an appointment to have your child assessed. I know you want to help your child. So does Learning RX Report.
And welcome in. Welcome into 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, talking about how do we do this self-care thing. You know, you can talk about it a lot, and you can turn it over. It's kind of an intellectual exercise, and I think most people agree. Okay, it's important. But there's, I think, a significant number of people that say, okay, how do I do that?
What is it? What does that mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's a legit question, especially because in order to care for yourself, you have to, on some level, know yourself and your needs.
Yeah.
You have to know what you need in order to take care of them, to meet them.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I think, if we in any way grew up with, for whatever reason, any kind of a bunch of little t or big T trauma.
Which a lot of us have
right.
on board, yeah.
That can certainly interfere with your ability to meet yourself and your needs. And if, the adults in your life didn't help you to become aware of what those needs are and take care of them when they could in the very beginning, that can become something of a learning experience later on in life, right?
Right. So the author of this little blog that I mentioned, her name is Courtney Carver, and all of her stuff kind of started, her journey, if you will, started after she was given a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis back in 2006. And now she has a blog and she does an Instagram thing and a Facebook thing where she is sharing, what she's learned.
Yeah.
And, I think that is so important to give back what you learn. I thought she had a unique take in a lot of instances. Before we get into the quotes, she suggested, think about how you can do these things before you even, and we'll share some of the quotes. There's probably 20-something. I don't know that we'll get to all of them today, but we'll share a significant amount. But she asked that you think about how you can implement them, how you can do them, how you can and make them a part of your daily life, how you can make them important. And I thought she gave some pretty unique ideas, one of which was to write yourself a permission slip. So if any of these quotes are, especially relevant for you, turn the quotes for kindness and self-healing and care into action by writing a permission slip. In other words, give yourself permission to take time for yourself or to enjoy simple pleasures or to protect your own emotional energy and time and overall well-being. In other words, think about what's best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so important because so many of us don't allow ourselves that ability, and yet it is that ability to take care of ourselves which sponsors everything else in our life.
Absolutely. And she said, remind your loves to take care too. And this kind of reminded me, we say this a bit. If you really want to learn something, teach it.
Right. So
I thought this was especially interesting. Remind your loves to take care too. So you could share her post, or you could share a program like this, or you can take one of the quotes and, make a screenshot of it and send it to somebody you really care about. Share it on social media or in any other ways that you can think of to encourage people that you love to do the same thing that you're committed now to do for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So often, I think I say this often, but it's important. So often we get into relationships and we'll say, I'll take care of you, you take care of me.
Yeah.
When, in learning, in the healthiest way is actually to say, I'm going to take care of me for you if you take care of you for me.
There you go.
Because that's truly what we have control over, and from that point that we can become fuller in our expressions of love. Truly.
You try to cook very, very healthy meals for us, and you try to encourage me to stay away from that dadgum processing and sugar and all that stuff.
Yes.
And
I try.
I'm doing a better job of it. I'm certainly more aware of it now. But again, you can't make me.
No, I can't. Not at all.
And I'm still, even though
because I love you enough so unconditionally that I'll allow you to do what you need to do.
There you go.
To take care of you.
That's right. And so again, all we can give and get from each other is information.
Right.
And what the individual does with that information is up to them. But I thought, to teach it, to offer it to others is, that's kind of a neat deal. And some of these quotes that she shares will speak to you. Some may not. Some people may be recovering from different things. For some people listening to us, it's burnout. For others, it may be just like the author of this article, struggling with a new diagnosis, or just simply
life.
Trying to turn over a new leaf and say, I'm going to take better care of myself. So whatever resonates with you, keep. If it doesn't resonate with you, let it go. Okay, let's dive in. It's so tempting to quiet feelings with outside forces, but instead, come back to yourself. Remember that you are a force that can comfort and heal. Yeah. This is so tempting today because we've got so much.
We've got so many outside forces to distract ourselves with.
We can always bury ourselves in our.
What do I got to do? What do I got to do?
We can always bury ourselves in the YouTube and the TikTok and the Facebook or whatever else we do, right?
Or productivity or work,
yeah.
Right? I mean, there's tons of things. Substances you bury yourselves in.
Right. Or just having, getting around so many people that, we're trying to quiet the noise in our own heads, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's another. Where you are right now is where you are. You aren't behind. You aren't caught up. You're here. It's all you really get.
Right.
Yeah, I love that.
You're always nowhere, right?
Yeah, nowhere, now here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Where you are right now is where you are. You aren't behind. You aren't caught up.
And so frequently today, I think, because of the rush and the doubt and the worry and all that's going on in the world, we get so caught up, and it makes it that much more important, I believe, to steady ourselves in each moment and recognize what's right in front of me.
Yeah.
And usually, if we really are looking, it's truly abundance. I mean, there's so much we can be thankful for around us.
Amen. Sometimes it's just a matter of tuning in.
And sometimes it's just that you don't have to be somewhere else right now, right? It doesn't have to be big. It's sometimes I was driving home from work today and really noticed the trees.
Yep.
And I was really thankful for the trees because they're so
And they're
beautiful.
there every day. They're there every single day.
Something else about the trees that's interesting is that we don't go out and look at the trees and say, oh, that one's ugly. What's wrong with that one? It's all twisted and knotted, right?
Yeah.
We look and we're amazed in the beauty, and we recognize...
Look at that one. That one has character.
Right, and we recognize that, oh, well, that one's bent that way because it needed to get sunlight. And so it moved this direction a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And it strikes me, why can't we do that more with ourselves? Like,
Great-
why do we
great observation,
not judge
question.
the trees,
Yeah.
but we judge the people, including ourselves in
Yeah.
our lives? Why
Yeah.
can't we not recognize that, oh, I had
Let's
to go...
treat yourself and treat each other like trees.
Treat.
Yeah.
treat yourself,
Yeah.
perhaps. No.
I love it. I love it.
But, just to recognize that, yeah, okay, I had to bend that way because I wasn't getting enough sunlight
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
What we need is to give ourselves permission to be gentle, slow, and soft, to rest when we want, turn down the noise, and find the ground beneath our feet.
That's one of my personal self-care habits, actually, is to go outside barefoot. At least, I try once a day. I don't
Yeah.
always make it there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take long just to go outside and to really feel the earth and appreciate,
Connect.
reconnect with the nature, which we are, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But in whatever way you find to connect yourself. I mean, for me, it is to go outside barefoot, right on the ground, or, all kinds of other things. But that's part of what self-care is about. And I like the word permission, because if you're not used to self-care, part of it is to give yourself permission to try different things, right? Perhaps
absolutely.
to self-discovery. Try, okay, well, I know my friend really enjoys listening to music, and I'm going to try that. And maybe you'll find something that works for you.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not.
Yeah.
But you have to give yourself permission to try and find
Absolutely.
out what brings you back to life
Yeah.
and to your center.
What does Yoda say? Try.
Do or do not.
Do or do not.
There is no try.
No try.
Yes, yeah.
Just you're doing or you're not doing. Yeah. Decluttering is one part dealing with your stuff, and 3 parts dealing with your heart.
Ooh. So true.
Recently I came home one day.
Yes.
And Lauren was just madly cleaning up.
I go through phases.
And
yes.
I said, "Is the queen of some place coming to visit?" I said, "What's going on here?" So we've kind of really, and I dove in and started helping too, right?
Yeah.
But we've had fun with it, Oh, the queen's coming.
The queen's coming.
So
We've got a
I'm not
stir.
sure it's the queen where. I mean, because
I am the queen.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
about
There
that?
you go. England
And
has a king now, so it can't be
yes.
him. But yeah, I don't know. We're talking about how to deal with this self-care thing today here on Strategies for Living. I think it's easier for some of us than others of us, and so
And
we're
it's
giving
a habit you can learn.
Absolutely. So we're giving some ideas, some starting places today, right here on Strategies for Living. Stay right here. We've got more to come. Dealing with stress, pain, feel like you're running out of options? When your life is balanced, wellness is a given. True wellness is holistic. It's about the mind, the body, and the spirit, all in balance. Now, there's a place right here in Shreveport that's all about helping us achieve peak mental, emotional, and physical health. The Balanced Life, 117 Kings Highway, right next door to Strawn's. Come see and feel the difference getting your life in balance can be. Many of your friends and neighbors have already learned the difference less stress and pain mean in their lives. You can book a discovery session right now online, thebalancedlife.us. All you've got to lose is stress, pain, or maybe both. Come see and feel for yourself the real difference balanced wellness makes. The Balanced Life Wellness Center, 117 Kings Highway in Shreveport, next door to Strawn's, thebalancedlife.us. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. On Strategies, we're here every day talking about creating a life that makes you excited to wake up and start every day. That's our goal. That's our goal, because we take growth seriously
To
here
recognize
on
life
Strategies.
for the gift that it is.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us, folks. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, and we're talking today about taking care of ourselves. You know, some of us may need to, okay, we hear it, and we might even agree with it. Yeah, I need to do that, but the how-to. How do I do that? What
does that look like?
What does that look like? How do I put that into motion?
And I think with the rise in the information and psychology kind of coming out and more out into the rest of the world, if you'll allow that, I guess.
I'll allow it.
Okay, we've kind of romanticized self-care, right?
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, I think society, or maybe even on social media posts, I see, oh well, I'm going to take a hot bath, and I'm going to do my nails, and I'm going to, we kind of glorify it. And to me, yeah, that's part of it, but it's only a piece of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other, I might say, more difficult practices that we have to learn in order to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And some of that includes, setting boundaries.
Yep.
Saying no.
Yep. Where we need to. Yep.
Yeah.
But that starts with making a choice and decision, and part of that choice and decision is to be more self-conscious.
Yes.
Tune into you.
In order to care for yourself, you have to know what self needs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's another quote, and
Okay.
these quotes are from BeMoreWithLess.com, and we're quoting from this very interesting lady's blog today. Here's another quote. Rest brings us back to the gentlest versions of ourselves. Think about how, when you wake up from a long sleep, a restful sleep, whether it's overnight or whether it's just a nap, right? Mm-hmm. How do you feel when you first wake up before you come back totally into the consciousness of the world now, right? Mm-hmm. We can lay there sometimes, and it's very enticing to lay there for a few minutes. Why is that? Because it's so gentle,
Yeah, it's I likened it to the state of who we truly are, perhaps.
Yeah.
And that's so easy for us to get caught up in today's world of go, 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 rush, 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 and sort of feeling like we can be defined by how much we produce and consume.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I often challenge people and like to remind them that rest is productive.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. And we can't run around and do our best work from the state of fight, flight, or freeze that a lot of us are stuck in.
Yeah.
We do our best work from the parasympathetic state of rest and digest.
Yes.
From our being at peace.
Yeah. Peace and joy. Yeah. It's our birthright.
And so how to cultivate that? That's part of the work of self-care.
Yeah.
Is to be able to cultivate that within you so it can overflow.
I like this one. Put your hands on your heart before you put them on your phone.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so easy to turn to our devices today.
Yeah.
To turn to our stuff today.
One of my
Turn to you first. Put your hands on your heart for just a moment, and you might,
check in.
Check in. It's a centering. It's a centering movement, right?
Yeah, I mean, and in a lot of energy practices too, right? To put your hand over your heart. One of the fellas I like to follow on my social media, and I love this. He starts almost every video I see him in. He says, "Hello, beautiful being. How's your heart?"
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that.
And I love that because it really, truly reminds you to check in and truly ask that question. How is your heart?
Yeah.
How is it today?
Yeah. Yeah. Here's another one. Most things don't require or deserve your time and attention. Even though it feels like we are pulled in a million different directions, we do not have to respond or devote any energy at all to most of the things that are saying, choose me. Mm-hmm. Save your precious resources for something precious. That's That's a lot. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important to remember the power of our attention,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where our intention goes, energy flows. It's another kind of intentional question to
Yeah.
help bring you back to awareness and consciousness, is to say, do I really want to place my energy there? Is that what I want to grow in the world?
Yeah. Where my attention goes, my energy flows.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, it's a conscious reminder for me of, okay, that's one of my most powerful sources of currency, really, right? Because what do kids want? More than anything?
Yeah.
Attention.
Attention.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is the most powerful currency we have in the world, and that's what we all want, is to be seen and heard and paid attention to.
Right.
And so use it wisely. Use it like currency. Spend it. Pay attention, right?
This next one is a not up to me and up to me.
Okay. All right.
So not up to me. 1, the weather.
Okay, right?
2, other people's expectations, judgments, and opinions.
Ooh.
Okay?
Yep.
That's not up to me.
Nope. No, it's not.
Here's the up to me's. Number 1, how and if I choose to react to anything that is not up to me.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's
very
a
good.
That's a good one to keep on your mirror, I think.
Yeah.
I like that.
Not up to me. The weather and other people's expectations, judgments, and opinions. I mean, coupling those together really tells something to us, because we know we can't control the weather, right?
Right.
And so it's not up to me. And neither are other people's expectations and opinions and judgments.
No, we can't control that at all.
But what is up to me is how and if I choose to react to anything that is not up to me.
And this, to me, is also one of the powerful side effects of really practicing and keeping up a self-care practice. Is it really, at least from my experience and what I've witnessed in others, as you implement a healthy dose of self-care, you're more able to pause and to choose that response and to recognize, okay, I can't control that, but I can control my self-care practices.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Whether you want to let go of stuff and clutter, a relationship, a job, an old goal, idea, thought, or belief, give yourself permission to know when it's time. Yeah.
That's really good and important to remember too, right? Because so often we can get in a rush to get rid of the things that aren't serving us.
Yeah.
Right?
And I love the fact that she's
Grouping
included
it.
and grouped. We all know about the stuff and the clutter, the stuff. But she's bringing in
the mental and emotional clutter. Right?
Yeah. So whether that's the relationships, jobs, goals, ideas, thoughts, or beliefs, because think about how many of us at times get so burdened under all of those thoughts, all of those beliefs that we are choosing to carry.
Yeah.
And so many of them, and we talk about this a lot on strategies, so many of them come from other people. And we don't even stop to realize, well, wait a minute, that's not even, I've never wrestled with that one. That's not even mine. That comes from so-and-so.
And that's an interesting idea. I'd never thought of it in this way that I'm thinking of it now. Perhaps that's sometimes part of the issue of letting go of an old thought or belief, is because it's a way of holding on to whatever person or memory it is
Good
that
point.
it's connected to.
Very good point.
And so that's another good reason for what she's saying, to give yourself permission, to know when it's time. It might not be time yet.
Yeah.
For so many people, I recognize that there's this gap. There's this odd gap between I want to change, and I am aware of what I want to change or let go of.
Yeah.
But I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
There's this kind of pregnant gap there.
Yeah.
And what often happens there is it's a grieving process.
Yeah.
And you have to allow yourself to go through that to get to the other side.
Absolutely. Grieving is a process that is so necessary to life, because life from birth to death is a series of things that we have to move through. You could say it this way, things that we have to give up, you know?
Right.
And that's not pessimistic, it's realistic if you stop and think about it. How something ends up never depends on how much you worry about it. We kind of spent a little time last week talking about
we worried about worry last week.
Yeah, we worried about worry. We worried that worry was useless emotion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we worried ourselves into a circle about that.
Yeah, probably so. But hopefully we helped ourselves and others sort it a little bit more. That moment when you think you don't have time to take care of yourself is the exact moment you have to take care of yourself.
Yes, it is. That's a good one. That's an important one to remember.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Maybe the opposite of being all caught up is not being behind, but being relaxed. This kind of reminds me of what you were talking about just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know, that we're more productive
when we rest.
Yeah, when we're rested, when we're not triggered, and our nervous system isn't going into a frenzy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is, it's just so difficult in this world today. It feels like a consistent rush to do things. What's next? What's next? What's next?
Gotta do this, gotta do that. Oh my goodness, look how behind I am. I've made this list and I've only done 2 things on the trillion things on my list. But we forget.
Bring, we're human beings.
Yeah, and we made the list. We made the
true.
list.
We get to make it up.
We're sharing some of Courtney Carver's quotes from Be More with Less, her wonderful blog. And we're talking about self-care. How to do a little bit more self-care today here on Strategies for Living. More to come. Stay with us. You're going to see the difference. When you go to Azalea Cleaners, you'll hear about it too. Azalea Cleaners has been fine dry cleaning since 1958, plus laundry, alterations and repairs, comforters, wedding gown cleaning and restoration. You'll hear about it from your friends because they'll see it too. They'll notice the Azalea difference. Azalea is convenient. 732 Azalea Drive, 9220 Ellerby Road, and 9227 Mansfield Road. Plus, the front door of your home or business with Azalea's delivery on demand. Just text SETUP to 249-8283, and Azalea will pick up your clothes and deliver them back clean and fresh to you. You can't get closer than that. That's the Azalea difference. You'll notice it right away. Others will too. The Azalea difference. Fine dry cleaning since 1958. Text SETUP to 249-8283 and get the Azalea difference. AzaleaCleaners.com. The more we talk about making healthy choices, the more we can do it. And that's why we talk about it every day here on Strategies for Living. Welcome back in. 1017 FM, 710 Keel, and Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, talking about reminding us all, how do we do this self-care thing? We talk about it a lot, and intellectually, we get it. We know that, we agree. We need to do that. But what's the how-to? And so we're kind of how-toing, strategizing by how-toing today.
Yeah, and it starts with being able to identify your own needs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And your preferences. Big time your preferences. This is something that I can watch just between you and I at the house, right?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because some things that that you do for self-care can be depleting to me, and I actually need some other completely opposite form.
Yeah. I get with my party people.
Your party people.
Yeah, I get with my party, and she calls I just always, like to keep abreast. I don't, I try not to get immersed in it, but I like my news programs, right? Just to keep up. And I like the balance. I don't like to just get my news from one source.
Right. I think that's part of your intellectual and mental self-care, perhaps.
Yeah.
Would you call it that?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
And so for me, it pulls from my emotional and sensational care.
Right.
And so that's why, because it can be, especially at the end of the day for me, I want more of a quiet. So, I mean, it's important to recognize that in each other, that, what you do for self-care could be completely draining for someone else and vice versa. And so it's about identifying your needs and your preferences and giving yourself permission to say,
to do them.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you do you and I do me so that we can do things together well, right?
Right.
And in peace and happiness.
Right. And, one of the things that we've worked out inside our own home is we have our spaces, right?
Right.
We have our individual spaces. You have you have a whole room that is, you've got everything you like to do and to grow with and play with and, spend time with in order to give back to you.
Right.
And I have the same thing.
Yes.
So, and we kind of made that, that kind of came out of some dialoguing. What I think for both of us, what do you need? What do you need?
We needed a little more of our own, not necessarily space like from each other, but space for ourselves.
Right.
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 To take care of ourselves for each other.
I like this one. You can remove a significant amount of stress from your life simply by reducing the number of items in your closet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. On so many levels, right? Because it takes up space and it takes up mental energy to pick things in the morning or whenever you get dressed, right? But it also carries an energy, I think, when there's so much stuff in a room.
Yeah, and particularly stuff, and
and it depends on what's in your closet, too.
Yeah, I mean, we tend to just, keep things hanging out in there. I mean, I've got clothes in my closet older than you, for goodness sakes.
Right.
And it's like you
True.
you were pulling out some ties a couple of years ago, and and you pulled out one particular tie, and you said, "I really like this tie," and I started chuckling, and you said, what's the deal? I said, do you know how old that tie is? And I told you the story behind the tie because I got it back years ago when I worked for Keel, and I went to a local men's shop. I won't say the name, but they are pricey, and I wasn't too concerned, and I picked out 2 shirts and 2 ties. I let them help me with the and I just about choked. So it's important that I kept that tie. I have kept that tie for 40 some odd years. Yeah, I wanted to get my money's worth out of that dadgum tie, and it's a timeless tie.
Clearly.
Yeah. The next time things get hard or you don't feel well, instead of pushing through, try easing through instead. Just simply a little change in the thoughts, right?
It can completely change your perception and therefore your experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to justify our rest anymore to ourselves or anyone else.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and whatever that rest looks like to you, I know you love to take an afternoon nap if you get the chance, right?
Oh man, it's just, it's not a new thing for me.
No.
I've been like this my entire life. I'd worry about me if, if it were an at my age thing, right? But the truth of the matter is, I have loved, and I think it goes back to watching my father, who worked hard. He ran a grocery store.
So
I grew up in a grocery store. But you can blame Claude because he would come home for lunch every day, and we would typically eat lunch together, and then he would go lay down
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be for long. He'd lay down on the bed, and it would probably be 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
And, he said he was renewed for the rest of the day. And he worked long hours, so it worked for him,
Right.
And I think I probably, have modeled that in some way. Yeah.
Yours are a little longer than 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
But
juggling everything makes it impossible to enjoy anything.
oh, that's an important one. I like that one.
How
Read
much
that
do
one
we feel
again.
like we're juggling these days, huh?
Juggling everything
Yeah.
makes it hard to enjoy anything.
Feeling guilty for taking care of yourself is not taking care of yourself.
Oh, hot take.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
important because so many of us do. And, that's totally taking away from the point. You have to allow yourself to take care of yourself. That's why that
Absolutely.
permission slip is so important.
Absolutely. Are you liking these? I mean,
I like
these are
these.
pretty
These are
good.
good.
These are pretty good. I mean, they're really stretching you. They're really making you think, right? Big change is the result of hundreds of tiny steps, and they all count.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like your everyday, right, is the summation of thousands of tiny decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to live with less stress and more peace and ease, it's time to embrace the idea of letting go, slowing down, and living with less. Yeah, we need that one.
I think we do.
We didn't get to all of the quotes by any means. Hopefully, we got to enough of them to give ourselves kind of the
Start stirring the
proverbial whack on the side of the head. But if you want more, the blog is Be More with Less, and the author is Courtney Carver. And so I would invite you to explore more of Courtney Carver's ideas in her blog, Be More with Less. And we'll come back. We'll come back in just a moment here on Strategies for a Living. Come back with us.
Hi, this is Jay Merle for Pintail Roofing. Let's talk about quality. When you hire Pintail to build your roof, here's what you can expect. Quality and quality control are the most important concerns for us at Pintail, and you need to know that Pintail stands tall with swift and professional performance on any warranty call. This is our most important policy. And remember, we're your neighbors. We'll be here for you for the long haul. Our family's lived here for over 100 years, and we aren't going anywhere. On the commercial side of Pintail's business, our fluid-applied roofing solutions can save thousands of dollars over conventional commercial roofing options. Call Pintail at 226-ROOF for a free inspection of your home or commercial building. That's 226-7663. Pintail Roofing. What's the condition of your roof?
And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. We're all about health and wellness and healthy living and making healthy choices here on Strategies for Living. Talking today about how to deal with this self-care things. Yeah, I think some of us are better at it than others of us.
But we can all learn.
We can all learn. We can all, we can all just move toward,
And it all starts with a better looking in, right? And getting to understand self to take care of self.
Right.
Yeah.
If your primary, we say this so often, the primary relationship we have, the sponsor for every other relationship in our life, is the relationship that we have with ourselves.
Yeah.
And so, what would you advise if you come to you in whatever state you might be in, whether that's burnout or whether that's frenzied or whether that's just fit to be tied.
Yeah.
What advice would you give you if this were your best friend coming. And, that's a good way to tune in. That's a good way to
place to
listen.
start.
That's a strategy. That's a
Yeah.
big time strategy, I think.
I think so
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
Another good way is to write it out.
Yeah. And I love her idea. Give yourself write a permission
Write a
slip.
permission slip.
Write
Put
a
it on your
permission.
mirror that you see
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
There you go.
The permission slip I gave myself for a year as kind of a New Year's resolution that worked was to take your time.
Yeah.
And that meant in all senses, take your time, as long as it takes to get there, but also take your time.
Yeah, most definitely.
You taking your time,
I'm
aren't
taking
you?
my time. Sometimes
Good, I'm glad.
Sometimes things work out better than other times. Hey, folks, thank you. Thank you for being with us here on Strategies for a Living. And we do this for you each and every day. And we can do it because of wonderful sponsors like the Robinson Film Center and Azalea Cleaners and Learning RX and Pintail Roofing and the Balanced Life Wellness Center. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call? And what would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillan, I'm David McMillan. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.